Hi everyone, it's Louise from 805 Soap, and I'm here to do the Valentine's Day soap that I showed you in the forum. And I wish I had a sample here, but I don't because I sold it and packaged it. So let me show you quickly. This is a jelly roll soap, okay? So what I did under here is I have a cookie sheet, and I've taken the cookie sheet and I've put it in here. And I've made a lip on it, like a form, okay, in here. So as you can see, the form is in here. It's up about, oh, I don't know, about a ½ inch here. So I have made a lip here, and I prefer using the foil rather than anything else because it's easier to get out of here and roll up. That's been my experience. You can use a tray, you can use whatever you like. So this is already done. I can take that. I've already put soap in my mold, about, I don't know, 5 or 8 ounces in here on the bottom. I've scored the bottom, and then I'm going to spray it before I put my mold in there. And what I'm going to do right now is I've got about, I think about 5 or 8 ounces of soap. Now, what the trick for me is how do I get the log mold into my soap? Is that I make sure that this is going to fit from here to here. Okay, so that it's going to fit right inside my mold, so I'm not going to have any problems with it. I've mixed up some clear base. I use a combination of clear and white. I've used, this fragrance is Japanese Cherry Blossom. This is for Valentine's Day. I've used some micas in a bowl mixed with rubbing alcohol. And we're going to pour a thin layer in here and let it set up. The trick with this is that what I have found out in my personal dealings with it is that you cannot leave this. You have to be on top of it. You cannot walk away from this once you start it. You should, once you start it, just keep going. And I'm going to pour a thin layer in here. I saw this video from Go Planet Earth. This was a long time ago, and sometimes I get so bored with my own designs that I go back and I look at other people's videos again, and I get inspired, and I think, why didn't I make that? Okay, so we're going to make this as even as possible here. It's real thin, and you're just going to leave it in here. And I'm going to spray it with some rubbing alcohol. And as you can see, it's so thin, it's going to set up really quick. And that's what you want. Like I said, don't walk away. This is one of those. I took all the air bubbles out. Now I'm going to go get some clear white base, and I'm going to color it. Let me just pour a little bit. I'm right here. Ugh. Here's my white base. Okay, so I'm going to mix some rubbing alcohol with some dry micas in a bowl. If you can see that. And there goes my dogs. Isn't that amazing? I can sit here and not do anything. Please do not be afraid to use rubbing alcohol. Rubbing alcohol evaporates in the soap. There's no reason for you to be afraid to use too much. Rubbing alcohol is also an antiseptic. So anytime I'm soaping, I usually spray my hands. Because it's not only an antiseptic, it's a sanitizer. So it's kind of good to have in your shop when you're working because you can sanitize your hands. If you're like me, who I like to use my hands when I'm soaping. And I forgot to put a glove on. I tell you why, I had a little cut on my hand. And I put a Band-Aid on there. But, you know, I should be wearing a glove to protect whatever I'm doing out there. So you want to be sanitary, and you want to have, you know, things that are clean. All your supplies should be clean. This is setting up really nice. So we're going to wait a little bit, about 5 or 10, maybe about, I don't know, a couple of seconds. You don't want to wait too long, because if you wait too long, it's going to crack. If you, there's a fine line of doing this, is that if you wait too long, it'll be too hard. If you do it too fast, it gets kind of mushy, but that's okay, because being mushy, it makes a different, it makes it kind of an interesting jelly roll. And that's what I've had in the past, is that when I get, you know, when I do things that are just not perfect. And I try not to be perfect in soaping, because sometimes my best mistakes have been with just mistakes, just getting out of the box. Okay, now this has got I can touch it and it's not getting on me. Okay, so it's set up. So what I want to do is I'm going to spray it lightly with rubbing alcohol. You could even score it if you'd want to, you know, just put little score lines in there. Okay, and now I'm going to pour my second layer right on top. It doesn't matter, you can put the dark pink on the inside. You can do any other colors you want. This was something, a design I did for, just for Valentine's Day, but you can do it, any colors you want, really. It doesn't matter. And some of them are mixing through, which is fine for me. I'm not real picky, you know. If you like, you can even put a little bit of glitter on there. And we can do that. And get some glitter. Just try whatever you want to try. I mean, it's not going to hurt. This is going to be on the inside, but you might see it when you cut it, that it might show up. So we'll try a little bit of glitter today. I'm all into trying new things and stepping out of the box. Yes, do I waste soap? Sometimes. Sometimes my mistakes come out really good, and sometimes they don't. But, you know, if you're not going to step out of the box and step out of the comfort zone, you're never going to find out what you really want to do. So we're going to let this set up for a little bit. And shouldn't take too long. Like I said, you want to be here, because we're going to do this. It happens really quick when it gets done. You can feel it. See, it's already pulling away. The bottom layer is already pulling away. So, like I said, you want to be on top of this. And now is the time to just kind of straighten this out, because it's not going to, it's pretty semi-hard. You guys can see this, I hope. Okay, and I reuse my foil 2 or 3 times. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, I'm not into perfection. You know, sometimes it'll give you a wrinkly texture on the back, which is one of the reasons why I got that texture on that other one. I just went with it. I didn't use brand new foil each time I did it. So the first piece was, yes, the first piece is not used. This is new foil. So you don't want it something that just came out of the oven, you know. I mean, we could have some fun there with it, right? Okay, see how it's coming up? I can put my fingers underneath there, which means it's pliable, but it's still a little runny underneath, which is fine. So we're just going to wait. I'm excited. I'm going to be moving my shop out of my garage in my home. I've taken almost 3 car garages in here, and I just bought a new piece of equipment. So I need to get a bigger space. So I'll be moving into a warehouse, hopefully by the after Valentine's Day. If I can get all my Valentine's Day's orders done. It's been crazy this year. I've been crazy busy. But if I can get it done, then I should be moving into just a warehouse. It won't be a retail shop, but it'll be a warehouse, so I can soap with more room. And I've been, just like I said, trying to do things on a bigger level. And that's my new invention. See that? I took a 5 drawer and I was using, I don't know if you guys remember, I was using those white bins, you know, with the lids on them. They're shoe bins from the Dollar Tree. And I was using those to put my shreds in. Well, I outgrew it. And this new thing is really working out well. That's my 4 drawers, and it holds about 4 or 5 pounds of shreds. So I was real tickled. Okay, we're gonna go here. We're gonna start rolling this jelly roll. Oh, we can't. It's a little bit wet now. Let's try this side, because you want to check all sides because you don't want it to. And like I said, I just have fun with this. Yep, it's still wet. So we're just going to wait. But anyways, so I got that, and I thought I had it extra in my house. And I thought, you know what? Well, not actually. I had my ribbons and bows in there and stuff. And what I did was I really cut back on it. And I got rid of a lot of things. Every year I clean out my old stuff and I get new stuff in. And that really works out well because you pull out the drawer, you get what you want. If I want to mix colors, I have a bowl on top. If I want to mix a little bit of yellow and green, or yellow and red and green, or purple and green and orange, and so I can make all different kinds of shreds, and then I mix them up in a bowl. I had one person ask me recently on YouTube, why did my soap shreds look different than hers? And it's because I use both bases, which means I use clear base and I use a white base. And I color both of them and then I shred them together. So you have a mixture of opaque and you have a mixture of clear. So I mix my bases up when I do my shreds. They're just not all one color, and you get kind of a different effect. It does take more time to do it, but you know, I'm all out after the effect of what it looks like. Okay, so this looks pretty good. So now we're going to start as small as we possibly can. And see, there's some in here that's not dried, but that's okay, because see, we're going to roll this up as tight as I possibly can. And we're just going to play with it and make a roll. I don't think there's anything in melt and pour that anybody can do. It's not rocket science. It's not anything but doing it over and over and over until you get the hang of it. Okay? That's what it is. I did not put any glycerin in this base. Glycerin, in my opinion, makes your soap sweat. Some of the liquid is coming out, but you know what? I kind of like the funky texture, and that's how I get some of the textures in my soap, is that it's just not perfect. So to me, the worse it looks sometimes, the better off it is. And they all turn out different. I don't have 2 of them that are alike. So I just kind of peel up this soap. But see how flexible it is? And that's why I said you got to stay right here with it. You can't move away from it, because once you do, it's going to dry up. It's going to be hard as a rock. So you just have to stay with it and play with it. Okay. So that wasn't too bad. And see, I leave all the rough edges. I don't mind them. I take some of the pieces that are falling off. But that looks pretty interesting. Okay? So, what we're going to do is we're going to take our piece of foil. We'll clean it off and use it again. We're going to take our mold. And it's a little bit big for the mold, as you can see. So I'm going to slice it here and here to make it fit in the mold. Let me get my cutting blade. So the trick of it is trying to stay on top of it, okay? And just work with it. and they all turn out different, okay? So they're all going to be different when I cut them. So then what you want to do is, nope, have to cut it off a little bit more. So you want to cut it to make it fit in the mold, okay? What I've done is I've scored this. I'm going to spray this, and I'm going to spray this. Just everywhere, down the center. I mean, you can never use it too much because, like I said, it will evaporate. I put this side on the bottom, which is the fold side on the bottom. You can put it on the upside if you like. Some of my rolls come out bigger, some of them come out smaller. It just depends on what I'm doing. Okay, so now I'm going to take some white soap base that is a little bit hotter than this, that's going to stick in the bottom. And I have to weigh out my fragrances. I'm away from the camera, but I'm right here. Now I really don't know how much I really don't know how much white base I'm going to use because each embed is different. Okay? So what I'm going to do here is I have a white base that I've mixed up, and it's pretty warm. Yeah, it's a little bit too warm. So we're going to wait. And then I'm going to get some shreds. You got that there? I'm not dressed today. I'm in my jammies. Okay, what we can also do is we can put shreds on the side if you want in here. So we'll put some shreds in the sides. And you want to make sure everything's got alcohol. That's like the glue in Melt and Pour. So we're going to put some shreds on the sides of this. And I'll make another video right after this to show the cutting on it. And just have fun with your soaps. I mean, you know, there's a lot of questions on the forum like, oh, I don't want to waste soap, and I don't want to do this, and I don't want to do that. You know, that's part of soaping. You're never going to find your niche in soaping is that if you don't get out there and experiment with what you want to do. It's all about experimenting. It's not about wasting product. It's all about experimenting soap. And my soap is too hot. So let me get some more shreds, and I'll put them on the front, on the top. But like I said, the best thing you can do is get out there and experiment with it. And I just love that bin. Gosh, I love that. It's so easy to get shreds, and you don't have to worry about it. I mean, honestly, it's probably the best thing I ever did. Because I was always making shreds. It was non-stop. But I'm just going to take this foil here. I'm going to take my scraper. If you don't have one of these are great. This is sold in the Home Depot or Lowe's. Mine needs to be washed. It's been working overtime. It's just got soap on it. It's a scraper, I believe, for drywall. And they run about 10 or 12 bucks. I don't know. But I love it. I mean, this thing is just great. I chop up soaps. I do a lot of things with it. But you can just take this and remove some of the soap on here on the foil. And then I just reuse the foil. you know, and keep it in my soap room and use it 2 or 3 times, and then I throw it away and use another piece. But I found out that sometimes the sloppier I am, the better the design. I don't know. You know, I watch people on YouTube, and they're so perfect in their stuff. I believe Go Planet Earth has one, and Anne Marie at Brambleberry has one too. And she's so, you know, I love her to death, and I love Brambleberry. But her stuff is so perfect. It's like, I don't soap like that in real life. I mean, I'm not that kind of a soaper. My soaps are who I am. And I think that's, you know, what everybody has to find out is what is your trademark for your soaps? You know, what do they look like? Do they represent who you are and what you do as far as a soaper? And you don't want to copy anybody, but you want to use sometimes their ideas, which is fine. But, you know, I have a lot of people ask me a lot of questions, and, you know, I always say, you're more than welcome to do it. You may not do it the way I do it, but you know what? Find your own way to do it. And if there's an easier, better way, share it with us. I mean, I'm always sharing stuff with everybody about how to do it, where to get it, what's going on. Only because I want to see better soapers and to see interesting designs. Everybody's designs are not the same. You know, everybody does everything differently, which is so cool. We're going to try a little bit of this. And you want this very liquid. And I'm going to pull this apart right here in the front so that it's going to go into that embed. I don't care if the shreds melt as much as I want that liquid to go inside of that embed. And like I said, this may not be enough. I poured about 20 ounces. But it just depends on the size of the jelly roll. So it melted some of them, but that's okay. I can live with it. I'm good. So you want to make sure that everything's in there in that jelly roll, as far as soap's going in on the side there, that it's going down in the middle. Oh, there's a bubble. I have fun with it. None of my soaps turn out the same, which is fine. You know, on the molds they do, on the, as far as the log molds, a lot of times I can't replicate 2 things to make them look exact. And I try and tell people that, especially my customers, that, you know what, I can't make it exact each time. It's similar in color and it's similar in style, but it's not exactly the same. And that's the beauty of having handmade, is that it doesn't have to be, you know, and it really shouldn't be. So, and I just put the shreds on top. It looks pretty full. So get out there and find your own style. I mean, and do what you want to do. And yeah, you might have to experiment. You might have to toss out some soap. And, you know, in the beginning I tossed out a lot of soap. And, you know, I gave a lot away to my family and friends. And you know what? It helped me learn. And every day it helped me learn to be a better soaper, because, you know what? I take things, I think, out of the normal. You know, I don't want to be like everybody else. I want to be a little bit different, and that's the way it should be. So that looks good. It's full. If I can find my glitter. Oh, it's right here. If it was a snake, it would have bit me. And then we're just going to put a little bit of glitter on there. You don't have to put glitter. That's how you make it. And I'll make a video right after this when this is done. Should be done in about an hour or so. And we'll see how it turned out. Some of them turn out great. Some of them turn out and they have holes in them. But I try to, because I roll it so tight, You have to make sure that that liquid goes through and you spray all those little crevices in there. Anyways, Louise from 805 Soap, come join our forum. Shout out to Melt and Pour on Facebook. I'm there probably daily, sometimes at night and after work. Come and see us and learn how to make soap. I have a great group of admins who are experienced soapers who can help everybody. Everybody's so helpful in the forums. Come join us on the forum. Take care, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Bye. I'm going to take my glove off so I don't mess up my camera.